Blair, Cruz, Gagne, Schaefer, and not present. Before we begin, please silence our electronic devices. These proceedings are recorded and may capture images and sounds of those present. Pat.
The board met in closed session from 4:35 p.m. to 6:25 p.m. regarding conference with legal counsel existing and anticipated litigation, conference with legal counsel real property negotiators, student readmissions, student expulsions, public employee discipline dismissal release, conference with labor negotiators ACT and CSCA, public employee appointment elementary principal, and public employee performance evaluation superintendent. No action was taken which requires public disclosure.
Leading the Pledge of Allegiance tonight is Art Bennett.
Would you all please rise? Please put your right hand over your heart and join me in the salute to the flag of the best and greatest nation on earth. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may be seated.
Good evening, everyone. Joining tonight is awesome students who have decided to dedicate their lives for our nation. And this is a very important journey because our country is rely upon them, and their success will be not only our parents' success, but our country's success. But before we commence honoring them, let's have any military service members of veterans in audience tonight, please stand up. And let's give them a great applause. Thank you for your service for our nation. Now with that, principals, as I call your name, please escort your students and make a brief introductions. And let's have the students announce their name and military branch they have chosen. Board members and Dr. Enfield, please join me in the front as we honor our students and salute them as they begin their military careers. Mrs. Yarboy, Ayala High School, can you please bring up your students?
Board members, Mr. Superintendent and Cabinet, faculty and staff, parents and students, and community members. We at Ruben S. Ayala High School are very proud of our young men and women who have received an appointment to one of this nation's military academies and or have been chosen to serve our country by enlisting in a branch of the armed services. We are confident that you will continue your record of academic excellence while serving the United States of America. Thank you so very much for your willingness to serve us all. We're very proud of you. Thank you.
My name is Carlos Gonzalez. I am enlisting to the United States Marine Corps.
Hello, my name is Kirby Huynh, and I'm going to be going to the United States Coast Guard Academy.
My name is Ryan McClung, and I will be attending the U.S. Air Force Academy.
My name is Michael Ochoa, and I enlisted in the United States Marine Corps.
My name is Christopher Palacios, and I enlisted in the United States Marine Corps.
Hello, my name is Kyle Pruitt, and I've enlisted in the Marine Corps.
Hello, I'm Alexandra Wisniewski, and I'm enlisted in the United States Marine Corps.
Mr. Schuler from Buena Vista High School.
President Na, board members, and Superintendent Infield, and our guests. I'm Kyle Schuler. I'm the proud principal of Buena Vista High School, but this is not about me. It's about these two gentlemen to my left. We're very, very proud of them. They've overcome a lot, and just extremely proud of them. I'm going to have them introduce themselves and what branch they're going to be enlisting in.
I'm Giovanni Morales, and I'm enlisting into the United States Marine Corps.
I'm Alexander Villagomez, and I'm enlisting to the United States Navy.
Greetings to Board President Na, Dr. Enfield, Superintendent. Parents, thank you so much for being here. Obviously, it's a wonderful night to celebrate many of the accomplishments of all of our students and also celebrate the fact that many of our students in our district are moving on to help serve and protect our country. They say there's no greater responsibility than those that are willing to stand up for our country and protect it in a time of need. And without that, I don't know where we would be, and we appreciate all of our students that do that. So I'll allow our first student to come up. Unfortunately, many of our students could not make it tonight, but we do have one student here. I'll have him introduce himself, and then I'll come back up and read the remaining names of those who couldn't make it tonight.
Hi, my name is Alexis Osquiano, and I'm enlisting for the U.S. Marines.
Additionally, we have Jason Arhueta going to the United States Navy. We have Ronnie Gutierrez going to the United States Marine Corps. Peter Holguin, United States Marine Corps. Christina Jones, United States Army. Joseph Matoyer, United States Marine Corps. Valeria Montez Ruiz, United States Army. Marco Cuevas Ramirez, United States Marine Corps. And Noah Ramirez, United States Navy. Thank you.
Hi, good evening, and welcome to this wonderful board meeting. My name is Isabel Brenes, and I'm the principal of Chino High School. And I am going to call forward several of our students who have decided to do the ultimate sacrifice for us so that we can sit here today and enjoy the freedoms that this wonderful country has to offer. This, by far, is my favorite board meeting, one of my favorite functions that I love to do and attend. And I already told my students I'm going to get a little sentimental on them because I'm so proud of their decision to serve our country. It is such great honor that they are partaking on a journey, again, for us to have our freedoms. So with that, and without further ado, I'd like to call our first student up. If my students can come on up and introduce themselves.
Hi, I'm Nathan Abed. I joined the United States Marine Corps. I joined the Corps to be part of this legacy and to give the ultimate sacrifice if needed. Thank you.
Hi, my name's Ethan Bingaman, and I joined the United States Navy. I joined the Navy to be part of something bigger than I am.
Hi, my name is Dajunique Mason. I joined the United States Army, and I joined to make a difference and inspire other people.
Hi, I'm Natalie Meneses, and I joined the U.S. Navy, and, oh, thank you. I joined because I wanted to be part of something bigger, and I wanted to thank my mom and my friends for supporting me in this decision, and yeah.
Hi, my name is Mitchell Mortensen, and I joined the United States Navy. I joined the Navy because I wanted to travel the world and do something and be a part of something bigger than myself, while also serving my country.
Hello, I'm Alexander Ramos, and I will be attending the United States Military Academy at West Point. I decided to go to West Point to become a leader of the New World and fight for what was right.
Hi, I'm Arandia Reyes, and I joined the U.S. Army. I joined to serve my country and to make my parents proud.
Hello, my name is Jordan Reif. I will also be attending West Point and serving in the United States Army. And I joined to understand the true meaning of leadership.
I'm Derek Santos, and I'm joining the United States Marine Corps. I'm joining to become the first Marine in my family and to learn new skills.
Hi, my name is Ryan Torres, and I will be attending the Air Force Academy. I chose the Air Force Academy because I want to learn to become a leader and obviously fly planes. All right, thank you.
Good evening. I'm Dr. Kimberly Cabrera, principal of Don Lugo High School. I'm very pleased to be able to introduce our conquistadors. Before they come out, I want to thank you parents because I've gotten to watch these young men grow over the last few years. Each of them is special in their own right, and I'm so proud of the sacrifice that they're about to make in giving of themselves to our safety, our security, and allowing us to sleep better at night. Parents, you have done an amazing job with these young men, and all of you with these young men and women who have chosen the ultimate sacrifice. Thank you so much for what you do and the way that you have entrusted us with your children. If Joel, you'll come on up.
Hello, my name is Private Joel Boltonamaya. I enlisted in the United States Army in August of last year. I'm coming up on 9 months next month of serving with the reserves, and my MOS is a 68 X-ray behavioral health tech.
Hello, my name is Daniel Lariano. I enlisted in the Marines, and my MOS is Marine Guard.
Hello, I'm Gabriel Boyer, joined the Army National Guard. My MOS is 13 Bravo, Cannon Crewman.
Hello, my name is Eduardo Nava, and I joined the U.S. Navy, and my MOS is Aviation Machinist Mate.
Hello, my name is Michael Sanchez. I enlisted to the Marine Corps, and my MOS is Marine Guard.
Let's have parents come and take pictures.
If I could get one big group photo of the students looking at this camera, and then afterwards, if we could have the board members with the students for one big group photo. Can we please have the board members join the students?
This time, let's have a 5 minutes break, and so that our parents could take kids to have them prepare for the test and all that. So thank you for the parents coming over tonight to support your family. Thank you.
No, she's still gone.
Yes, she was.
Done. She's done.
Is she- Oh my goodness. Hiding back here. How good Diana does it. Organize them.
she's going to have it. It's sitting right there, and you have flowers to give her, and that certificate there.
Okay. So have her make comment, before she makes comment?
Well, no, she's going to make her student. You're going to go, we're now at comments from our student representative, Lexi, and then when she's done, ask her to join you down at the podium with Freddie Rodriguez as representative.
That's better.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right, real soon. Next. Right next.
And then he gives her, does he know to come down and give us, and I'm going to give him the
Norm
Yeah.
talked to them already, and I told him to make sure that he knows that it was down here at first, and he told me about James.
Now, we're at comments from our student representative, Alexi.
Hello and good evening, board, cabinet, and community. I am so grateful to have been your student representative for the 2018 to 2019 school year. I've learned so much about myself and the community I love so dearly this past year. Mom, thank you for your endless support. I couldn't have done it without you. I would like to thank Ms. Brown, Dr. Park, and all district staff that helped to guide and support the superintendent's Student Advisory Council and the creation and execution of our Kindness Initiative, Spark the Light of Kindness. I am so honored to have been part of such an influential and amazing project. Collaborating with students from around my district with different perspectives to create a legacy of spreading kindness during such a difficult time in our history is inspiring. Thank you, Dr. Enfield and my fellow school board members for showing me the importance of being a civil servant. You welcomed me with open arms and took me under your wings. I am so thankful for the opportunity to have worked with such kind and helping leaders. You inspire me and remind me that the true meaning of service is sacrificing oneself for the benefit of others. I will greatly miss our brief pre- and post-meeting conversations and jokes. Audrey, I cannot wait to see the amazing things you will accomplish and how you will spark kindness into the next school year. Thank you.
Thank you, Alexi. Before we move on, can you join me at the podium along with Assemblyman Freddie Rodriguez's representative? And I'd like to also invite Mom to here, because I know without you, she couldn't be in these meetings. So let's stand next to her. Alexi, for serving as 2018 and 19 CVUSD student board member, providing insight to the board's understanding of student perspectives and demonstrating leadership and dedication to her fellow students. I'm so proud of you, and I'm so proud of your servant leadership. This is what we need from our youth, so thank you. Presented this the 16th day of May 2019.
Hello, everyone. As mentioned, I'm here representing Assemblymember Freddie Rodriguez, and we definitely wanted to recognize everything that you've done. Trust me when I tell you that what you just experienced is going to help you out in the long term. So continue what you're doing because you're doing great, and congratulations to your parents because I'm sure you've made them very proud. So congrats.
Well, I don't know. Yeah, they're going to come out first.
Mrs. Blair?
I have been elated to have Alexi up here because she helps me pick on Mr. Schaefer. And we keep him in line, you know, because he tries to hoard up the whole dais over at the school district boardroom, and so she helps me keep him in line. We've created dividers, you know, so. But truly, she has been an amazing student representative. The things that she has brought forward, you know, the videos, the new group of individuals that she's been able to engage at every high school regarding kindness and anti-bullying is something that she took on and did it so well and was able to get commitment from so many students at every high school. But what has been most impressive for me, because oftentimes we hear about the success stories at our Chino Hills schools, and we don't give credit to our Chino students a lot of the times. And Alexi is attending Stanford University. And, but yeah, where is it? Oh, there it is, Stanford University. There it is, the flag. And so she is what is truly a success story, and that it is possible no matter which high school you attend, which elementary school, which junior high school, the scores for the schools that so many place emphasis on. It just shows that there is success if you believe in yourself, if you have a great support system, and if you allow our educators and our counselors to help you and guide you, there is success, right? Awesome. So I'm going to miss you, but I wish you nothing but the best. So thank you.
Mrs. Ghani.
Getting into Stanford is no small feat, and that university is very lucky to have you this coming academic year. It's very difficult to both focus in high school on academics and excel as you have, but also to take the time out to be of service to your campus and to be a leader. That's also exceedingly difficult. And so I do appreciate you taking that time not only on your campus but district-wide to serve as an example, and I'm sure that Stanford doesn't know what's coming for them. So congratulations.
And Dr. Enfield.
Lexi, I want to thank you for serving on the Board of Education. You've done a phenomenal job of representing all the high schools in your board update, so thank you very much. I also want to thank you for your leadership in running the Superintendent's Advisory Council. You did a phenomenal job. You ran all the meetings and you did it like a pro, and you made it look effortless. And it was through your leadership that in working with the student representatives that you guys launched the Spark of the Light of Kindness. And again, that's a testament to your leadership, and so thank you for that. And I wish you the best at Stanford, and I know that everyone that you meet, you will always spark that light of kindness and continue with that. And congratulations, and thank you for being on this board. Thank you.
Mr. Schaefer.
Thank you. Actually, I'd like to personally thank you for showing me the ropes. You know, she got stuck next to me, the poor thing, and so I've been asking her questions. What do we do now? What is this? So she's been a tremendous help. But I think what's most honorable about her is how she represents all the students in our district. Not just the high school students, but all of our students in the district. She comes prepared to the meetings. She has concise and informative reports that she puts out. And I just can't say enough about her, and Stanford is lucky to have you. Thank you. You bet.
And I guess I have a final comment. I'd like to thank her, but also all your friends and students attending tonight's meeting. Someone called me a few years ago, I'm a half-century man, because you're over 50 years old. but through Alexi and our friends, the group, the leadership, about talking about a spark, light of kindness, really had touched me in a deeper way. As you read today's papers and watch TV programs, guess what you see? Separations, no forgiveness. You hurt me and I hurt you. Some people just follow money. Yeah, those things are out there in mature world. But our students, you exemplify where our adults need to learn also. Sparkle of light of kindness. It's not me, my feelings, but it's about others. It's not being a mirror person, but a window person who could look outside of the window and see the needs of others first. And being active, not just with your lip service, but true being a servant leader. I'm proud of you because you're going to Stanford. But I'm more proud of you because you're a decent human being. And this is where we all have to work on in daily basis. And guess what? Then you can build a good family, a strong family, and you can build a strong community. Then we have a strong nation. So when we say our youth represent the future of this nation, it is absolute the truth. I'd like to thank her mom, who came here all the meetings and patiently waited for her. So knowing this is a great family and we have many others here, you were such a blessing to this board and our school district. Thank you so much. We're now at comments from employee representatives. Brenda Walker, ACT President.
Good evening, everyone. First, I just want to say congratulations, Alexi. You did an amazing job, and you made us all proud. Good luck at Stanford. So it's a really exciting time for us at ACT, Associated Chino Teachers, because every year we get to set aside money to give out scholarships to those graduating seniors of our members. This year we gave out 13 scholarships. Now the students already got their checks, but what we'd like to do is I'd like to call them up so that we can recognize them. Jared Barber. So a lot of them may not be here tonight. They're getting ready to turn their tassels. They're doing a whole lot of things, so seniors are busy. Erica Bearden. Jake Berman. Brenna Barker. Blake Begorno. Alexis Buss. Yay, Alexis is here. Come up, join me. Katiana Guaranas. Marissa Gonzalez. Victoria Guzman. Caitlin Cooning. Chloe Rogers. Trent Salmon. And Sarah Takanaka. Congratulations to our graduating seniors and to their parents who are educators in our district. And I know it's not really hard, it's not easy to have parents that actually work for the district, but this is an amazing feat to be graduating, so congratulations to you. Congratulations. Thank you for coming. Next, we want to recognize our ACT awardees. There are 4 recipients who've been selected and nominated by their peers. You know, that's really high praise when you get selected by your peers. If you're here tonight, please come up and join me because I want to introduce you and I want everyone to hear more about you. Our first awardee is our Nurse of the Year. The Nurse of the Year is part of the heart and soul of the Buena Vista Parenting Program. Her name is Sherry Ma.
I just want to thank you. I'm very proud of the award. I love my job. I love this district. I've been here 24 years. I couldn't see myself any other place. The students are amazing, and Buena Vista is my home. As you know, I love all the students I work for. I cover Butterfield, alternative ed programs, and I'm very grateful that I have this job, and I really love being a school nurse. Thank you, Chino.
Next up is our Counselor of the Year, and our Counselor of the Year, she's really passionate about the special needs students at Chino High. That's Gail Heisel.
I didn't know I was going to have to speak. I'm just overwhelmed with this honor. It really means a lot to me. I've worked now at Chino High. I worked at Ayala. I've worked at the adult school, but now Chino High for the last 11, 12 years, and the special ed students the last 10 years. I come to work every day because I just never know what I'm going to be able to do for them on a day-to-day basis. I love the job, and I'm getting close to retirement, so this even meant more to me as I get closer to retirement. So thank you so much. I appreciate my coworkers. I wish some of them were here tonight who nominated me. Thank you.
Absolutely. Congratulations. Next up is our Elementary Teacher of the Year. She's fun, creative, she's well respected. She's our first grade teacher at Butterfield Ranch Elementary, Laura Schlurf.
Thank you very much. I also did not realize that I would be giving a speech tonight, so I'm a little unprepared, but I will say this. I am incredibly humbled. I love my staff. I love my job. And I'm 34 years in the classroom. People have asked me why I never went into administration. And I said I became a teacher to be a teacher. I wanted to be with the kids. And I try to start each year, even though it's 34 years. I have a few more left. But I tell my parents at back to school night, I owe to my children, even though I'm old, it's not their fault I'm old, it's their first time in first grade. And because it's their first time, they deserve the same enthusiasm that I gave my first year class and my 5th year class and my 10th year class and all the in between. So I do that, and I promise my parents at the beginning of the year, I give you that enthusiasm because your kids, it's the first time in first grade, even though I've done it 34 times now. But I thank you for the honor, and I am humbled by the whole experience. So thank you, Brenda.
Okay, last but not least is our Secondary Teacher of the Year. And our Secondary Teacher of the Year comes from Townsend Junior High School. He is not only the math teacher, but he's well respected, and he's a mentor to other teachers. Paul Bates.
Thank you. I was told that I would be giving a speech tonight, so if you could all just settle in and relax. We're going to be here for a while. Mr. Naw, you don't mind. Okay. Anyways, it's been just a blast being a teacher. I was sat down when I first started teaching by my very first superintendent, who laid out my entire life for me. Said, by the time you're 26, you're going to be vice principal. By the time you're 30, you'll be principal, and then by that time, you'll be set to take over for me. And I went, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. And I spent about maybe 2-3 months, and this is when I taught in the inner city. And I cannot tell you how much I fell in love with that job. And I never went to the dark side. Dr. Enfield? And I can't tell you how happy I am for that decision. So this has been a great ride. If you love what you do, you don't really even feel like you're going to work. And I felt like that my entire career. So thank you very much for this honor. I appreciate it very much. Thank you, folks. Not to cock my head. That's what she does.
Congratulations to our scholarship recipients, and congratulations to our recognition awardees. The next presenter is President of the California Association of Directors of Activities from Ayala High School, Debbie Weiss.
As a representative of CATA, it's my extreme pleasure tonight to make some introductions and some awards that some of our staff and students have received this past year. So at this time, Michelle Chiotti, if you'll join me. Michelle was presented the Area E. Bob Burton Award. It's presented to a person who makes spirit work on their campus, who makes a positive influence in the lives of their students, and includes all students on campus. So congratulations. We have quite a few different ones going on. The next two individuals, we have been very honored in our district to have students serve on a yearly basis on the State California Association of Student Leaders State Board. There are 21 members on this board, and last year we had one, and this year we actually have two of our students that are going to be serving on that board. Lauren Nagel, who is our web media. And Lauren is from Ayala High School. Congratulations. And Irene Kim, who is our Southern Director. And they're getting ready to go to their first board meeting. And so they will be putting on our California Association Student Leader State Conference, which is going to be held in Ontario next year, a little bit closer to home, so it's a little bit easier to plan when they live down here. And at that conference, all 4 of the high schools were awarded the Outstanding Leadership Program. It supports and encompasses the Cata Castle Roadmap and state standards to promote positive school culture and climate. And so we are very excited. So at this time, we're going to call up each of the high school's activity directors who are going to introduce their presidents. Chino High School, Jasmine Norman.
Well, my name is Jasmine Norman. I have the pleasure of working at Chino High School, and I also have the pleasure of working with Alexi Magallanes as my ASB president this year. You guys have heard quite a bit about Alexi, and it has been, everything that was said was very true, and it's truly been a pleasure to serve with her and to have her as head of my leadership class. And so we definitely earned this together.
Chino High School, Michelle Coyote.
Okay, as you heard already, I'm Michelle Coyote at Chino Hills High School, and this is my ASB president, Alex Rowe, and I'm just going to say thank you to Alex publicly because through this year we've had a pretty emotional year at our school site, but Alex is a breath of fresh air. He keeps us laughing, he keeps us happy and engaged, and that has really changed some of our school culture and brought some kindness and light to our school. So thank you, Alex.
Don Lugo High School, Farrah Rigo Witt.
I'd like to introduce my ASB treasurer. She was also on the Superintendent's Advisory Council. She is a 4-year member of Ludo, and she's going to be an alumni with me. I'm class of 1995. In just a couple weeks, I'm just super proud of Viviana and all of my students who helped earn this award. We've been earning it since 1996, and I'm just tremendously proud of what we're doing at Ludo, and we're one school, one family, and I can't say enough about Viv. I'm going to miss her so much. And I would like to introduce Miss Debbie Weiss from Ayala High School.
I would like to bring up my USB president, Audrey Ng. At Ayala, we're a little bit different. Our classes go January to January, so every year I actually have 2 USB presidents. So Madison Moneymaker was our president for all of last year and the first semester of this year, and then Audrey, of course, will been this whole semester and next year. But I'm just so proud of our entire class as well as the other 3 high schools because this is something that the class does together. It's really probably, I would say, our final project that we do. It's pretty intense. The students have to write down exactly what they're doing on their campus to make a difference. And so I'm just really super proud of that. In addition to that, Ayala High School for the very first time applied for the National Association of Student Council, which is considered an Excellence Gold Award, which recognizes councils worldwide for consistent demonstration of high levels of leadership. And that was a feat that I have asked every year. If you want to do it, you're more than welcome. It's a big feat to do. So I'm just really super excited that students did that, and the challenge to the other 3 schools because you are doing exceptional jobs, and you certainly can fill out that paperwork and get that award because I know you can do that. But again, just I just want to tell, well, you're on this side of me now, Alexi, it was absolutely amazing this year in our council to be able to work together with our junior highs and our high schools to talk about kindness and what you were able to do. I have been part of that SAC committee for a super long time, and I think this is my first year that I looked forward to every single meeting to see what you students were going to be able to do for our community and for our schools. So again, thank you so much from all 4 of us activity directors for all you do to make us look good. Thank you.
It just fell over. It just fell over.
Okay, moving down the line, Danny Hernandez, CSA.
President Na, board members, Superintendent Enfield, and cabinet and community. Normally, at this time, we usually recognize one individual as an unsung hero. With next week being CSCAW week, we usually reach out to one person that goes above and beyond all the time. I have to share that I originally had walked over to the warehouse and asked Roy Strona about being the unsung hero. Roy said no. He would only accept it if I recognized the whole group. These gentlemen, this staff is the one that delivers the books, the food, the packages. Anytime somebody needs a desk moved, a classroom moved, this is the staff that does it. So I'd like to award them with the 2019 Unsung Hero presented to the warehouse staff for always going above and beyond the call of duty. I want to recognize each one of them. Roy Strona, Daniel Cavedo, James Lujan, Carlos Gomez, Gabriel Aguilera, Eric Montoya, and Fernando Suazo. Just to share a little bit more about them is every year they have an annual Thanksgiving luncheon. And if you've ever attended it, it has a full spread. But 19 years ago when I came to the district, it was, come on over. If you bring something great, if not, it's open to all. That's what these gentlemen do every day. Anna Hamilton, the director of purchasing, would like to say a few words also.
Good evening. All 8 of our warehouse delivery staff and our 3 substitutes are amazing gentlemen that work tirelessly to get all of the essential work done. They are always available for special requests, often when they have many other tasks and work orders and deadlines to meet, and they do it without protest. They understand the magnitude of what they do and its impact to our students and staff, delivering the food to nourish and the mail and products to teach all of our school sites and departments. I greatly admire these men. Individually, they are leaders. They're humble, kind, respectful, hardworking, and so much fun. And together, they can make an impossible task seem so easy. They are truly unsung heroes, and I am ecstatic that they have been all recognized by their peers. Thank you.
Thank you for this honor. I'm humbled to receive it in honor of all these gentlemen here. These are the men that get it all done for everybody, for all the students. And they deserve this more than me. I've been with the warehouse for 40 years, and I also came up through the education system in Chino. So it's been a joy ever since I've been here. And these guys make it all possible. They're the best, but we're all a team.
I would like to make a comment.
Thank you.
I would like to make a comment. I know each one of you personally, and she's got it right. You guys are very respected, highly respected. Especially, I respect you guys so much. Every time that we hugged together, every time we encouraged each other, every time that you help people, help students being successful, I really admired you, and I like to see you blessing ever after, because you guys really deserve that. So thank you so much for being with us and helping our students. Danny attests too. I go see these websites, and he's right there with students. And I see you guys waving hands to all the students and our staff members and giving them high fives. and everything counted. And I watched last 11 years. I watched last 11 years, and you guys made the difference. So thank you so much. On your side, you guys gotta go. Go. Now, Tom McKessie, Champ President.
President Na, Dr. Enfield, Board and Cabinet. I just have a couple things to say. One is on behalf of all the classified and certificate management, we just want to say we're very, very, very proud of all the young men and women who have offered to join the services, and we can't be prouder of them. Also, thank you, Alexi, for all you've done for everything. Good luck at Stanford, and that'll be a fantastic time. And then secondly, you know, kind of going off with what Danny was saying, the Classified Staff Week is coming up for us, and we just want to say from every level, from the management to every single level, especially like Big Dan I know very well, and James and Carlos and a lot of those guys, we just want to say thank you to them and all their service that they've done for our school district over the years. So thank you very much.
We're now at Community Liaisons. Art Bennett from Chino Hills.
Thank you, Superintendent and board members, for being here tonight, letting me be here tonight. What a night. I mean, there have been so many awards presented. It just shows the caliber of the members of this school district. Each of you should be proud that you head up a district with all of the talented people that are here. I wanted to say a special thank you and show a lot of pride for those young individuals who have voluntarily signed up for the military, that are going to be putting themselves in harm's way. Things have changed through the years. When I graduated from high school in 1965, not many of us were signing up for the service because we knew we were going to be drafted. And sure enough, I sent in my change of marital status, and my wife and I got married in July of '67, and 4.5 months later, I was in the Army. And a few months later, even though I was not a citizen of the United States, I was sent to Vietnam. So I have the unique perspective of I got to fight for my citizenship. So I know what these kids are going to be going through. I don't know if they all really know what they're going through, but nonetheless, they are all to be honored. And each of you, if the parents are still in the audience, you know, God bless each and every one of you. You have raised some patriotic children, and that's what this nation needs right now. Freedom is not free. When it comes to time of war, all give some, and some give all. So keep that in mind. These are future leaders of our country, and they are going to be fighting for the very things that we take for granted on a daily basis. The mere fact that we can assemble tonight and honor them is just the fact that it's a freedom that we enjoy as a nation. So God bless all of these young individuals and keep them from harm's way, and may God protect them all along. Yes. Yeah. I learned a long time for remarks to be memorable, they don't have to be everlasting. So I'm going to cut this real short tonight, okay? A couple major things, because this especially involves the school district. Los Serranos Park is under construction. The city is making a $4.8 million investment to build the park, and the Chino Valley Unified is our partner because you agreed to let us build the park on land that you own next to Chaparral Elementary. a few of our council members were at the park on Wednesday when some of the students actually brought tiles that they had designed, and they're going to be placed in the park. So it's really a cool thing. So it will be something that they can bring their children to years from now and say, hey, when this park was built, I made this tile and I placed it here. So it's going to be a generational thing, and we're so proud that that's being able to be accomplished. We've got a couple things coming up. We've got a Derek Bordeaux concert that's coming up pretty soon. We've got, we should let you know that there will be Memorial Day closures, of course, a week from this coming Monday. Mark your calendar for summer fun. Our annual concerts in the park, it's an 8-week program, will be starting on June 19th at the Veterans Park, Wednesday nights from 7 to 8:30, and a special presentation will happen on Wednesday night, July 3rd, the day before the 4th of July, and it will actually run from 5 to 9. There'll be a brief ceremony at 6:15. The concert will start at 6:45, and there'll be a Journey tribute band performing that evening. We also have Movies in the Park coming up. It's an 8-week series starting in June at the Chino Hills Community Center. And that's really all of the major things that are coming up. Of course, in a couple of weeks, we're going to be having graduation, and I believe you've probably got RSVPs already that the Chino Hills Council will be there for both Ayala and Chino Hills High School graduations. It's a thing that we look forward to every year, and it's so much fun to sit up there and listen to Pomp and Circumstance a million times. You know, you go home and it's in your head. You know, you can't go to sleep without, you don't count lambs at night, you listen to that song. So it just goes on and on and on. But again, thank you for the privilege of addressing this body. I know that you've got some very big business coming up tonight. I'm going to sit down now so you can get to it, and I am not going to make any comments as a council member or an individual when it comes to the one item dealing with some redistricting or temporary boundaries, okay? I'll let anybody that lives in the city of Chino Hills that's here can express their concerns, and I'm just here to monitor. So God bless you all. Thank you again, and God bless Chino Hills. God bless the Chino Valley Unified School District and all these students that have just signed up for the military, and God bless America. Thank you.
Truly appreciate your service to our community. Thank you, Mr. Bennett. Next, Mike Krieger from Fire Board. So he has none. Mr. Mark Lucio is not here tonight. Then I see Melissa Campani. Yes. And Suzette Dang. You guys can come together. I thought you guys were twins.
That's right, that's right. Well, good evening, President Na, board members, Superintendent Enfield, and community members. As we all know, June is right around the corner, and what does that bring to mind? That's right, National Safety Month. I know that's what you were all thinking. That's right. Supervisor Hagman has been thinking about this and has organized a document shredding event. So we encourage all constituents of the 4th District to please bring your items that you really don't know quite what to do with, or your papers, I should say. And we're going to have one of those big document shredding trucks. Have you ever seen one of those in operation? They put those papers in there and close the lid, and you can watch them all being shredded, so you won't have to worry about anyone getting a hold of your Social Security number. It's going to be taking place June 15th from 9 a.m. to 12 noon. It is a free event, so there's no charge for the shredding, and Ontario Police Department is going to be happy to have us in their parking lot, I'm sure, and that's at 2500 Archibald Avenue in Ontario. So please bring your materials. You can always look on Supervisor Hagman's webpage or Facebook, Twitter, all those things for information and details. Thank you.
Just a reminder, we are expecting a huge crowd, so we are limiting to 5 standard file boxes. So just keep that in mind, and that's per vehicle. So I mean, that's plenty. That's plenty. So after your tax season is over, I know you have some confidential paperwork. go ahead and bring them, shred them, and prevent your identity theft. And hopefully, we are planning, hopefully within the 6 months, to bring another shredding event to the Chino Valley area. But for now, take advantage of the one in Ontario. Thank you.
Good. Thank you. We're now at comments from the audience on items not on the agenda. Pat, are there any requests to speak?
7 requests to speak on non-agenda items.
Speakers will be called in the order the request was made. Please listen for your name and be prepared to approach the podium. Any comments on agenda items will be accepted during consideration of that item. Once the board has commenced deliberations on an issue, speaker cards will not be accepted. The board is very interested in your comments, but please bear in mind that the board typically does not respond to comments during this time, as it is reserved for public comments. Individual members may respond during board comments at the end. Additionally, the board does its best to support the public rights to address its elected officials. It is also important that the board conduct its business in an orderly and fair fashion, as provided in Board Bylaw 9323. In the event that an unusual amount of speaker cards is submitted for any item, board could hear up to 30 minutes of comments. In the case of non-agenda items, the board can, if it chooses, hear the remainder of comments after all business has been conducted. Mr. Cruz, will you please explain the light system?
You have 3 minutes to address the board. Begin at the green light. The yellow light means you have 30 seconds left. The red light means stop. Please adjust the microphone as necessary. Audience members, please refrain from making comments while speakers are at the podium.
Speakers, please remember that in accordance with Board Bylaw 9323, bylaws of the board meeting conduct, limit remarks to 3 minutes total for all remarks, and please limit remarks to new points. The board would like to remind you that there is a board policy 1312.1 for anyone who wishes to file a complaint against a district employee. Please follow that procedure. And no speaker shall exceed the 3-minute limit. The first speaker is Darwin and Gail Syria, followed by Carl Sherman, followed by Lisa Greathouse. Carol.
Hello, good evening. Thank you for this opportunity. Our names are Darwin and Gail Syria, here on behalf of other fellow parents present. We are proud parents of Davin and Gia, who attend first grade and kindergarten at Cal Aero Preserve Academy. While we wish we were here for more positive circumstances, this issue is nonetheless of utmost priority. Our son Davin is one of 7 students who has been physically assaulted across 10 incidents that span for a month. Last Tuesday on May 7th, a classmate attempted to break my son's pointer finger after the same student tried to punch another classmate twice. While we immediately addressed our concerns to Principal Karen Miner, who contacted us that same afternoon, we were assured safety measures would immediately be in place to secure the safety of our child. However, our son was soon victimized again the following day on May 8th by the same student, this time punching my son in the stomach and elbowing him in the chest while kicking his lunch pail. This after immediately twisting the arm of another classmate. Also important to note, my son was not sent to the school nurse to be examined after either assaults. All of which we communicated in detail to both Karen Miner and Katie Janal, the school principals, outlining a myriad of concerns, fears, anxiety, and distress as a result. Again, we were assured safety measures were in place, but due to confidentiality policies, no further details would be shared. In fear of our son's safety, we elected our son to not attend school on Thursday, during which another classmate was physically assaulted by being kicked in the genital area. This same student who was victimized on Thursday was apparently choked by the same student previously. Plus, 3 other students were picked up by the same student and dropped to the ground previously, and 1 other student thrown rocks at. To our dismay, we were the first parents to be notified, although the physical assault stemmed from a month ago. For added diligence and again in fear of our child's safety, we proactively sought additional support, all of which we informed the school previously to ensure transparency from our end. We filed a police incident report with Officer Jetty, who also came to the school, escalated to student support services with Melissa Brown, and immediately had our son seen by a doctor, during which the pediatrician advised our son to refrain from strenuous physical activity for a week due to his injury. With that said, we only have the most proactive relationship with our son's teacher, Patty Walker, who has inspired only empathy, compassion, and provided safety to our children. However, given the frequency of these assaults, we respectfully request for the board's immediate assistance to support our students, teachers, and administrators while better informing all parents by how this can be accomplished in a timely manner. Thank you again for allowing us to share, as this is absolutely worth addressing.
Thank you.
Carol Sherman, followed by Lisa Greathouse, followed by Naomi Minogue.
Good evening, President Na, school board, and community members. My name is Carol Sherman, and I speak to you tonight as a concerned parent of 3 sons who have been educated in the Chino Valley. I'm also a former educator of nearly 20 years of teaching and education experience. One of my sons completed 4 years of the American Sign Language program while attending Ayala and was able to earn many of the benefits of that program. My youngest son is currently a junior at Ayala and in the 3rd year of ASL. A need has arisen at Ayala High School to hire a new ASL teacher because our current one is retiring. She's built a top-notch program, and finding a replacement teacher is challenging due to the limited number of credentialed ASL teachers. There seemed to be a prospect near the end of last year, but unfortunately the candidate accepted another position and will continue that position this coming year. There have also been a few other possible candidates with strong interests, but were not chosen because they're either in the process of becoming credentialed or credentialed in other states. Mrs. Yarboy has done a phenomenal job at Ayala and treats students and family with high levels of respect and concern. I am thankful for the excellent education that my sons have received at Ayala under her leadership. Ms. Yarboy sets high standards for which I am grateful, though in this case I'm concerned that the standard may be too unreasonably high to meet the goal of hiring an ASL teacher to continue this program. You may ask, why is it important to hire a replacement for this next year? Well, students that are 3rd year and below will miss out on the following opportunities that are awarded only to 4-year ASL students. The Ayala cord, which is worn at graduation. Number 2, the ASL Biliteracy Seal, which is a highly esteemed designation being recognized both by the district and the state as a student being bilingual. And 3rd, and most importantly, being able to test at Mount SAC and being able to earn 15 to 20 college credits to take with them to their college of choice. This would accelerate their college career by saving at least a semester of college tuition, books, room, and board. We need to ensure that this program continues to provide these opportunities for our students. My concern is if we set the bar too high, we'll lose the chance to hire a teacher that our students need. I'm aware of at least 3 current examples, including 2 teachers at Ayala, who've completed in the past credentialing programs as interns and then continuing on as credentialed teachers. Therefore, it does not appear that it's a district policy to only hire fully credentialed teachers. My hope tonight is to encourage you to urge Mrs. Yarboy to hire a teacher to continue this exceptional program, despite needing to use maybe a less traditional route of qualifications. So thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Lisa Greathouse, followed by Naomi Minogue, followed by Mark Cargile.
Good evening. On May 2nd, this board authorized the payment of $206,922 after losing a lawsuit brought on behalf of Chino Valley Unified students, parents, and employees who wanted Mr. Na and Mr. Cruz to stop turning these board meetings into church services. For years, these 2 board members inappropriately proselytized during meetings, creating an unwelcome environment for many students and families, and violating the Establishment Clause of the Constitution. After multiple court rulings against this board and multiple unsuccessful appeals, newly elected board members Christina Gagné and Joe Schaefer joined Irene Hernandez in finally voting to cut our losses and stop the appeals. So thank you. The more than $200,000 already paid out is only the first payment to the Freedom from Religion Foundation. Another $75,000 or so is still due to settle the judgment. Now, many of us also remember the pastor of Mr. Na and Mr. Cruz's church speaking to this board 2 years ago as this case wound its way through the courts, vowing to raise a, quote, war chest to pay legal costs. In fact, the same church even created a GoFundMe page 2 years ago just for that cause, raising nearly $145,000. So my question is, where is this money that was promised? And if that money from the GoFundMe page isn't donated to the district, then is it being refunded to the donors? Over and over, we heard this lawsuit wouldn't cost the district a dime. We heard it from board members, church officials, we heard it from parishioners, we even heard it from Chino Hills Councilman Art Bennett. So now $300,000 of taxpayer money is being spent from the general fund on this unnecessary lawsuit. Money that it could have gone toward our students, maybe on foreign language or STEM programs, textbooks, musical instruments, robotics. The list of how this money could have benefited our students goes on and on. It seems the height of irresponsibility that these two board members put us in the position of being sued, and the height of hypocrisy that the people who vowed to pay for the lawsuit are nowhere to be found. Of course, we'll never recover the precious time and resources wasted on this lawsuit that also could have gone toward advancing the educational outcomes of our students. But at the very least, those who supported appeal after appeal in a losing battle should make good on their promise. If Mr. Na and Mr. Cruz really cared about the students of this district, they would ensure that happened, since it was their actions that led to this lawsuit. I hope our community remembers in 2020 that there's a real cost to having board members more concerned about their own personal agenda than the education of our students. Thank you.
Naomi Minogue, followed by Mike Cargile, followed by Ivan Bialba. Juan.
Good evening, board members, Superintendent Enfield, and Cabinet. Tonight, I would like to address the financial liability placed on CVUSD due to the lawsuit versus the Freedom from Religion Foundation. I would like to respectfully inquire as to the status of the, quote, war chest funds promised by the Let Us Pray Foundation. A GoFundMe account was created in June of 2016 by the Let Us Pray Foundation with the, quote, purpose of raising the more than $200,000 in attorney fees. As stated on the GoFundMe account, again, quote, the defense fund will help encourage the school district to continue to fight by offsetting the school district liability, end quote. The goal of the account was to raise more than $300,000, and to date, $143,745 has been raised, including an anonymous offline donation of $143,000. The most recent donation was 8 months ago for $25. This account has been active for 35 months. $206,000 plus has been paid out of this district's general fund. This affects programs which would directly benefit our students through technology programs such as STEM, STEAM, theater arts, music programs, teacher development programs, special ed, suicide and anti-bullying programs, and much more. Where is the money promised? I see tonight Chino Hills City Councilman Art Bennett is here. He was quoted in the Daily Bulletin as saying, quote, the church is going to get a war chest together so there will be no real cost to the district, end quote. Well, Mr. Bennett, perhaps with your influence you can help us. You can help the district recover the over $300,000 plus, which will eventually be paid out of the district's general funds account. To the Let Us Pray Foundation, I say it's time to pay. I sincerely appreciate the votes of board members Ms. Gagne, Ms. Hernandez, and Mr. Schaefer for their no votes to stop this costly lawsuit. It is my hope that we never, ever find ourselves in this position again. This is taxpayer money. This is money that belongs to the students, to our teachers, staff, and should remain in the classrooms. Thank you for your time.
Mike Cargile, followed by Juan Villalba.
Good evening, board. Thank you for allowing me to address you. I'm here on behalf of my daughter, who's a second-year ASL student. You've already had the one lady, so I'm here to echo her concerns. Ayala's ASL program has achieved national prominence with a 4-year curriculum handcrafted to achieve the highest of standards. its creator has interviewed and picked the best successor she can find to maintain those standards, only to run headlong into a principal with her own agenda. I always thought I could count on Miss Yarboy to fight for the highest academic standards for our children. And yet, here I stand, petitioning for the integrity and survival of one of the brightest academic bulbs at Ayala. This is indicative of a decline I've noticed over the past few years at the school, and I wanted you to take note. A couple nights ago, I attended a banquet for the swim team. I was there with a couple hundred other parents and family members, and a number of the JV swimmers came up to get their awards, but they were told that they couldn't even get a participation certificate because they didn't buy a USB card, that the school couldn't afford to give them this piece of paper. I was embarrassed. I was embarrassed for them, and I was embarrassed on behalf of a high school, Chino Hills, that couldn't afford a piece of paper for the students, and it embarrassed them in front of their teammates because their teammates had these pieces of paper, and I don't know if the kids could afford those USB cards or not. And that to me is a fault of the leadership at that school. I've lost a lot of confidence in it, and I'm here representing a lot of parents, teachers, and security personnel who feel the same way. I hope this board addresses it. Thank you for your time.
Juan Villalba.
Hi, good evening, community, board members. I have some comments about, again, the lawsuit for freedom of religion. I'm still baffled about the cost that did incur to our district, the money that should have spent on our students and nothing else. I'm thankful for the new board for the changes made, so they couldn't incur on any more expenses that the ones that already have to be made. And I would like to share some stats to put numbers into perspective and to put, I guess, our society's priorities into perspective as well. According to the Department of Education budget, the U.S. total budget for education is $59.9 billion for the year 2019. In contrast, we have $127.3 billion on donations to the church. So a little over twice as much the church and donations gets than our education system as a whole in the nation. Schools. There is almost 133,000 schools nationwide from K through 12, with about 4,300 colleges and universities in the U.S., in contrast to 384,000 churches, up to 2017, according to Christianity Today. So over twice as many churches there are schools, institutions in the nation, with twice as much funding for churches as for schools in the nation. They might say $200,000 is not a lot of money, but if you are considering that the education gets only half of what the churches receive, I think it is a loss, and a great loss. And we should put education first. After all, if you want to read the Bible, you need to learn to read, right? So education first should be our priority. There is already clear numbers about what apparently the nation priorities are. So please, education first. Thank you.
No further speakers. That's it.
We are now at changes and deletions. Pat, are there any changes or deletions?
The following changes and deletions are on the agenda. CIIS, item 3C2, page 31, student expulsions, case 1819-24, amend expulsion time frame to 2 semesters. Facilities planning and operations, item 3D3, page 52, item is pulled from the agenda.
We're now at action items. Please read the first item.
Item 2A1, options to address capacity at Cal Aero Preserve Academy, K-8.
Recommend the Board of Education approve the following options to address capacity at Cal Aero Preserve Academy. Option A, temporary boundary changes to Liberty Woodcrest Junior High School and Chino High School. Overflow, build a second school. That's option A. Option B, temporary boundary changes to Butterfield Ranch and Towson Junior High School and Chino Hills High School. Overflow, build a second school. That was option B. Option C, add more portable classrooms. Overflow, build a second school. Option D, overflow, build a second school. And that's it. Do we have any speakers?
8 requests to speak. The first speaker is Lisa Fraga, followed by Jessica Schwartz, followed by Elizabeth Donahue.
Good evening, Superintendent, Board, and staff. So we heard the 4 options, and I'd like to express our
Mr. Cruz.
concerns. I'd like to express our concerns with a few of them. So currently the preserve is surrounded by closed roads, one-way roads, busy roads, because we are growing, and we are growing in leaps and bounds. Option A presents us to come to Woodcrest and Liberty. We did the drive on a normal morning, so not today when it was raining, and the drive took us 39 minutes with normal morning traffic. Option B, we did the drive to Townsend Junior High on a normal morning with no bus stops, and that took us 42 minutes. I think those 2 options should be out, because once we add in bus stops, you're adding probably 30 to 40 minutes onto those commutes, not to mention those were on non-rainy days. Option D, I think, would be ignoring a very obvious problem and just kind of hoping nothing happens. So I urge you to please vote for option C. While it's not the most aesthetic and beautiful, and probably, I know our admin would probably not like portables, but it keeps our babies home, it keeps our kids in the community, and it allows us to keep on walking to school, which is why we purchased homes there. Thank you very much for your time.
Jessica Schwartz, followed by Elizabeth Donahue, followed by Caroline Fahrenhorst.
Hi, thank you, Board, Superintendent, President Na. My name is Jessica Schwartz, and I'm a parent of Butterfield Ranch Elementary, and then will be Townsend and Chino Hills High. Firstly, I would like to just express that I'm in support of the option C for multiple reasons. One, it's what the Cal Aero parents are expressing they would like, and that's their children that are ultimately impacted. Secondly, Butterfield Ranch in our community is already facing capacity issues. We have room for 100 students and an anticipated influx, without even taking into consideration the newly built homes that are still vacant, of 115 to 175 was the numbers that were presented. So we're already facing a position of overcrowding. So we're not necessarily solving a problem, we're basically merging it together with a larger problem that already exists.
So our concern is that it puts our kids at risk for being bussed out to other communities. Severe traffic issues. Butterfield Ranch only has capacity for 60 parking spots legally. So you add all these additional students who are going to have to be driven in. It's a safety hazard, and it's already a safety hazard. The other thing is that, like I said, the parents of Cal Aero, that's where they want their children. I would want my children in their homeschool. I had the luxury of hearing the president of Texas A&M present not too long ago, and she shared with us a statistic that said students who are able to complete their freshman year in their freshman year are 95% more successful in life in general. She also said that the students that are enrolling in their freshman classes are ill-prepared to be successful. So these types of changes are what are creating those outcomes. So I would just encourage the board to expedite the building of the new school and keep the kids where they are. So thank you for your time.
Elizabeth Donahoe, followed by Caroline Fahrenhorst, followed by Jeff Garvin.
Good evening, Superintendent, President Na, board members, cabinet, and members of the audience as well. My name is Liz Donahue, and I am a third grade teacher at Cal Aero Preserve Academy. I know we've heard a few voting for option C, but many of those that are already attending would not be affected by those. So I would like to address some of the concerns that many of our staff have regarding option C of the options to address capacity at Cal Aero. Earlier this week, representatives from the district came to assess the physical layout of our campus to plan for the possibility of adding those 10 more portables. Among many of our concerns, I'd just like to speak on a few of the issues we deem most pressing. One major concern we have regards the potential lack of staff and resources to support all of these students. Currently, we have access to our computer lab once a week for a total of 30 minutes, which includes their walking in, logging in, and log off time. We have less than 350 laptops, which are shared among the 1,400 students that are currently here. In a 21st century district, this already isn't enough computer access to prepare them for a technology-based society. In regards to our staffing, we share a music teacher with another school, and our librarian is part-time. Our resource specialist caseload is near full capacity, if not there already, and would not be able to support an additional 300 students, approximately. The students are already receiving limited access to these valuable resources. As far as physical space is concerned, adding 10 more portables would greatly limit their space for recess and physical education. During inclement weather days, we are already reaching capacity in the gym, which would impact the safety of our students as well on those mornings and afternoons. On this agenda, we noticed it still says that the fiscal impact of these options is unknown, which is also concerning because, of course, with the additional students would come the demand of additional resources, staff, and supplies. I know we're both on the same page and wanting the very best for our students, and increasing enrollment in either our classrooms or school as a whole will negatively impact the current and future students learning at Cal Aero. Thank you so much for your time and consideration.
Caroline Fahrenhorst, followed by Jeff Garvin, followed by Juan Chavez.
Good evening. My name is Caroline Fahrenhorst. I'm a mother of a kindergartner at Butterfield Ranch Elementary, and I have 2 young kids that will be following in his steps in the coming years. And I know that this is a temporary change possible on, I believe it was B, but a lot of the consensus I've heard from other parents in the area is that we don't want overcrowding more, and especially the fact of it might push us to a year-round school. A lot of people that I talk to, really their planning of a year-round school wouldn't work with how they handle their family vacations and even how their parents work, their schedule of work. The option C, I believe, would be a good option because it would allow the students in the preserve to go to school with their neighbors and not have to be bussed in and take extra time. That's all. Thank you so much.
Jeff Garvin, followed by Juan Chavez, followed by the final speaker, Karen Catavona.
Good evening. Good evening, President Na and Dr. Enfield and the board. It's nice to see you. I'm the father of 2 children at Butterfield Ranch Elementary, and it's such a wonderful problem that we have, that we live in such a great community and that the schools are so strong that more people want to come and bring their kids. And so I just want to take a moment to go, hey, this is a great problem that we have to solve. Butterfield Ranch in the morning is a total nightmare. There's 2 ways to get to the school, and neither of them is better. You can come up Mystic Canyon or you can go down Mystic Canyon, and in both ways there are kids crossing the street and people like me driving their minivans into the parking lot. There's 3 turnarounds. There's one for Mystic Canyon Park, there's one for the kindergarten drop-off, and there's one for Butterfield Ranch. It's a total nightmare. And so to the parents of those who have kids at Calero, once you get there, then you still have to wade through all the traffic, and it really is a safety issue. I mean, it's something that we're all the parents are really concerned about. And then the second thing is, man, I love that campus, and my kids have been in one of my children has been in portables for 2 years. We have great portables. If you want to see portables, come down to Butterfield Ranch and see them. So like, we're already dealing with the capacity issues, so it just doesn't seem to make a lot of sense to bring them from Calero over to Butterfield Ranch. That said, my kids are always looking for new friends, and we'd love to meet their kids. But it just doesn't make any sense to those of us living in the Butterfield Ranch community to add more kids. We're already like, wait, there's only, like, we're going to have to bus 2.5 miles to get to the closest junior high. So it's just one of those problems that's going to trickle and get bigger and bigger and bigger. So I'm urging you not to pull the option B cord. I just don't think it's going to work. Thank you so much for your time.
Juan Chavez.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen of the board. I had the pleasure of meeting Dr. Enfield at last week's meeting at Butterfield. I'm also here to oppose option B of bringing the kids from Calero to Butterfield and Townsend. I took the liberty to run some numbers from public information on the internet. And I was surprised at how many kids are at Calero. There's a lot of kids there. And that's a problem I wouldn't want to have as a parent at that school. I have a kid right now. My son goes to Chaparral. He'll be going to Townsend next year. And then I have a son at Townsend that's going to Chino Hills next year. And I already see the overcrowding at both those schools. And one of the problems that I see from talking to other parents and school administrators is we have a lot of kids coming from outlying cities that come to those schools. And when I ask about that, they say it's all because we had low enrollment at one time and we accepted permits or whatever you guys call those things for kids to come to those schools. But now there's a lot of development in Chino Hills in the south end, and a lot of those kids are being, I've been told, they're told there's no room at this school, which is their home school. It's right down the street from them, that they have to go to other schools. So I don't think that's fair that, and it's a problem that Calero has now is they can't even go to their home school. You got kids on permits coming from other cities to Chino Hills because the schools are better in Chino Hills. I don't know the dynamics about what happens in the city of Chino, but looking at the numbers and the ratings for the schools in Chino, man, I mean, I'm going to be very frank, they're terrible, okay? And the schools in Chino Hills have a better rating, and I can understand why those parents want to come to school in Chino Hills. If I was a parent in an outlying city, yeah, I would want my kids to go to a better school, but there's other options, Again, I don't know how you guys are going to fix that problem, but the problem is we had a lot of kids coming from outlying cities. Bringing more kids to Townsend, who already has a 27-to-1 student-teacher ratio, is pretty high. You're having a student enrollment of 1,100 kids at Townsend. And looking at the other schools in the city of Chino, there's low enrollment at the junior high schools in Chino. You have 658 students at Magnolia, which is half of what they have at Townsend. Ramona is even less than half of the enrollment that you have at Townsend. So there's a lot of vacancies in the city of Chino. And again, do you start busing kids out of Calero to those outlying to fill those seats? That's up to them and up to you guys. I don't make that choice. But I'm saying it's not good to overcrowd a school that's already overcrowded. Where are you going to put these kids? You're going to increase the ratio, and then you do that, student learning and test scores start going down. And we no longer have those good schools that are averaging 7, 8, 9s in the city of Chino Hills because it's overcrowded. I don't see learning that way. I grew up in, unfortunately, LAUSD, and where you're just trying to find a spot to sit down, okay? And we all know the LA Unified School District not that great, okay?
Thank you.
Karen Catabona, followed by Sharon Chon.
Karen Catabona, hello, good evening. I wanted to echo a lot of the same sentiments that just happened earlier. Basically, option B transfers the existing problems from Cal Aero to Chino Hills, and we already have new growth in our community, and we're near capacity, so why would you take a temporary Band-Aid fix from Chino, bring it to Chino Hills, and then we have the same problem? Where do our children go? So, you know, I looked at all these specific plans, EIRs, general plans, your guys' long-range facility master plan, and I can't see the numbers of how you guys are solving these issues with the capacity. So if you could be a little bit more transparent where these numbers are coming from and how you guys are doing the planning, you really need to be prudent in terms of future planning and where you put the schools, not just the Band-Aid fix for 1 year to 5 years, because let's be honest, how long is it going to take to build that second school? It's probably not 5 years. It's probably more close to 10, you know, if we're lucky. So, you know, when you're looking at solving this problem, please think for the future, because right now I have a junior high schooler at Townsend that's going to Chino Hills High. I also have an elementary school student in Butterfield, and I experience all the same problems these parents do. Matter of fact, a lot of us parents, we actually carpool our children to school, so it's to our benefit to keep our children in the neighborhood schools. Just like Cal Aero, they want to keep their kids in the same schools. So again, I urge you, please consider long-term planning when you make a decision. You know, option B is not good for the future. It's just pushing the problems and then waiting for it to happen in Chino Hills. And also, you know, option C, you keep the kids in the community. I can't tell you how important it is when people say it takes a village to raise a child. All these parents here, especially from Butterfield Ranch, we know each other. We sit in traffic and we laugh. It takes us 20 minutes. Thank you. Oh, I still have time? Yeah, it takes us 20 minutes to get to school. And like I said, we carpool and we know each other. And it's funny because if our child forgets their homework, I can go 2 doors down and say, you know what, my daughter forgot her homework. Can we copy the homework papers so they can do their homework? That's what we do. It takes a village, and we want our communities to stay in the community.
Thank you.
Sharon Chon.
Good evening. Good evening. I am from, my name is Sharon Chon, and my son is a kindergarten at Butterfield Ranch Elementary. And, you know, whatever I'm going to be saying will be the same thing as the other parents from the same school. But really, I just wanted to express my concern, since what we are trying to do between the option A and option B, those are, I believe, are temporary fix and not a permanent solution, and those are just bringing the same problem to a different community. Not that we don't want to share the school to the other communities, it's just that we don't want to share their problems, because then that problems will trickle down to the other communities. So I feel like a more permanent solution, as we continue to work on building a new school, we should also then continue to work on building a more permanent solution than just sharing it. And also, I just also want to share that I agree with the Cal Aero families that option C will give a little bit more consistency for the kids and give them the opportunity to be with their friends and, you know, and with their family closer to home, and will give them more, you know, more consistency, like I said, and that's it. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's it.
May I have a motion? Mr. Cruz.
Make a motion to choose option C to address the capacity at Cal Aero Preserve Academy.
I second that motion. Any comments?
Yes.
Yeah, I pushed my light.
Okay,
earlier.
Mrs. Blair, then Mr. Schaefer.
I was never, from the start, in agreement to a temporary boundary to include Butterfield, Townsend, and Chino Hills High School, because I already know very well that there are capacity issues in that area. So option B was never something I considered, and neither it was option D, which is just overflow and build a second school. But there are a few items that I want to clarify. It is difficult for a school district to plan for growth, not knowing what city council members will approve down the road. We don't know what developments they have in the works, what land they foresee they will be selling to developers. So it's a bit difficult to place that on a school district. For example, over by Chino Hills High School, there is a hotel within less than a block from the high school. Ask me as a board member whether I knew that Chino Hills City Council had approved building a hotel less than half a block from a high school. We speak about concerns of human trafficking, pregnancies, things like that, and yet there's a hotel within blocks of a high school. Not even blocks, steps from a high school. That's not something that you can blame the school district for, though there were attempts to ask us why we had not spoken up about it. We weren't included in the discussions, but that's something that happened. So it's not that easy to say that we should plan for the growth in the future when oftentimes we're not included in the discussions. I agree that we shouldn't impact another community to attempt to resolve an issue in a current community, and I do feel bad for the families at Calero who received the flowery conversation from the developer so that you could buy a home there. Again, we as a school district could not foresee the plans by the developer, nor how many families with children would come. Do we need to fix it? Absolutely. But there is no expediting the building of a school. There's no fast tracking the building of a school. There was a special board meeting last month where the architect discussed how long it would take, and it's years. So there is no fast tracking or expediting of a school. But is it something that needs to be done? Absolutely, but it's going to take time. So now, as a board member, I'm torn between our educators on that campus and the parents. Educators who say increasing portables increases enrollment, which then takes away from the quality education that we provide. It takes away from recess that is much needed. It takes away from assemblies that are held in the gym, and now you have overcrowding. There have been many instances where board members have expressed that, safety concerns of children if they're overflowed and the time that it'll take to be on a school bus. But do you know how many of our students are already overfloated on a bus to a school that is not within their community? Do you know how many of us chose to send our children to Briggs, which is not in our community, and our children did well? To send and place this information out there as though students can't thrive by not attending the school site, their neighborhood school, is so unfair. And it is not just to our educators, because they do a darn good job no matter where you send your child. And so it's not fair to say that only because you attend your neighborhood school that you're going to have a successful student. So let's stop with that, because that isn't realistic. So it takes some time to get from Calero to Liberty or Woodcrest. There are things that sometimes occur, but in option C, even if we selected option C, it includes overflow. If that is the option that you're all choosing, adding more portables doesn't mean we're going to add the necessary portables to be able to enroll every student. So just realize that the second bullet says overflow. That means that there's a likelihood that some students are going to be on a bus to another school. That is still what may happen, because we're not saying we're going to add 20 portables so that you can have the enrollment that you're seeking. It just says add more portables, and the discussion needs to be had with educators and administrators on that campus as to what is realistic, what is safe, and what will provide a quality education at Calero. And that may mean that you only get 4 or 5 portables. And then the next bullet is overflow.
Mr. Schaefer.
Thank you. First, I'd like to address some comments that were made earlier about Chino Hill schools, Chino schools, Ontario schools. Just please remember this is a unified district, and we have to do what's best for all of our students, regardless of where they live within the district. It's our responsibility to make sure that they get the best public education possible. These issues that are now coming to the head, so to speak, have been a long time in the making. And so now we're left with 4 options, none of which are really ideal. But what we have to do is plot a course for the future and try to get from point A to point B as seamlessly and as quickly as possible. Dr. Enfield, I have a couple of questions about option C. The cost of the portables, does that come out of general fund? Does that come out of builder fees?
It'd come out of developer fees.
And the cost of transportation, if we choose one of the other options of a temporary boundary change, the cost of transportation?
It would depend. If the numbers are too high, we would probably have to purchase a bus or 2, and that would come out of general fund. And I think the last bus we bought were around $250,000 a piece. And that doesn't include the drivers too.
Thank you. And I'd like to thank Dr. Enfield and Mr. Estrachera and Ms. Chin. They met me down at Calero at my request so that I could physically see where the proposed portals are going to go. And again, it's not an ideal situation, but I think having the option of having those students stay in their neighborhood and with their neighbors and siblings is in the best interest of the child and the best interest of the students. Dr. Enfield, if we do select option C, I'd like to get either an update or a report on what additional services and supports we're going to provide as far as additional staff, additional custodial services, and all that kind of stuff that they're going to need for the additional students.
Yeah, that's not a problem.
And I have a comment. Yes, all schools are great. I walked on all these campuses, including, you call it adult schools to any schools. I have a pride, great pride. We have great teachers, we have great parents, and therefore our builders put our school district and homes would sell. It's not which schools, Chino Valley Unified. Now, is there a perfect solution to this? No. Is there a perfect solution to your life? No, I don't have it either. But as an adult, I believe separating the family, the siblings, is not a good idea. Now, does it guarantee 100%? No. But we're trying to minimize the difficulties. The parents would have to drop them off in different places. And what if they're toddlers? They don't want to be separate from their siblings. Who love that? No. I was an outdoor person, a gung-ho person, so I was different. But many of other siblings in our family, they were stuck together, and they felt more safe. So for that reason, out of these options, I strongly support C, because it's not about us. Us, we can take Uber, we can drive, walk. But kids, let's have them together in a safe environment, both Butterfield. I don't want to impact them. You got great community there. Parents are involved with school and have that pride. And also preserve too. It's two great schools, and we got great leadership there too. So I like to see the status quo, but hearing from the teachers' side, I think we need to maybe double or triple the needs of our highly impacted campus and provide everything that is necessary for the teachers, because if teachers don't have resources, how could they teach? Having over, I would say, 20 kids is very difficult to teach. So let's have that in our mind. If we would, should we choose option C, provide everything that is necessary for our teachers so our students could be taught well. So that would be my choice. Mrs. Gagne.
Thank you. So I'm the new kid on the block, or one of the new kids on the block, so no pun intended, but I think it's important to recognize that the decision that we're making has a lot of impacts. Some of them are fiscal, some of them will impact families, and the reason that I've asked repeatedly for more information, for study sessions, for this, that, and the other, I've gone out and talked to parents from all of the schools that would be impacted under every single option, schools that would be taking students in, schools that would be having to bus students out. And one of the reasons I ran, you don't run on, oh, prudence and decision making, it's not as sexy as some other things, is I really want to make sure we're making prudent decisions. I was born and raised in this community. I have seen this community thrive in good economic times. I've seen buildings stop off Euclid Avenue in bad economic times. And so I wanted to make sure that I had all the information in front of me to make a good financial decision for this district, a good decision for its staff, a good decision for its educators, and a good decision for its parents in terms of moving forward on any single one of these options. But also, and I'd like to thank one of our community members for noting the principle of transparency, I do think we need to be transparent about the existing problems that will still be on the table, even with picking any one of these options. And for me, I worked backwards from our Chino Hills high schools, because we also have high schools in this district that are heavily impacted. And as of right now, Cal Aero, as well as Butterfield, all those kindergartners and their smiling faces are going to end up at Chino Hills High, which is already impacted. So we have a lot of other issues to deal with beyond just these boundary changes in front of us, because we have a lot of parents who want to, and from the schools they're sending their children to, expect their children are going to go to Chino Hills High. So this is not the first time we're going to deal with this, and it's certainly not the last time this district has dealt with boundary changes. But I do want to just be transparent about my decision making, because I think that oftentimes decisions are rushed into, and if you want to go back and see why certain people voted a certain way, I have an obligation to tell you, why I'm supporting a certain thing. Obviously, options A and B are unpalatable. I have spoken to parents at both Cal Aero and Butterfield Ranch. I understand the impacts for both sets of parents, and so I don't think those are palatable decisions, so I'm just going to set those aside in case anyone's wondering where this is going. In terms of just enrollment projections at Cal Aero and putting portables on the campus, I just do want to be clear that a new school will not be open until the 22-23 or 23-24 school year. So the expectations are set. We can't magically build a school overnight. It's not going to take the 10 years that somebody cited, but it's not going to happen overnight. So obviously we had some decision making. I support getting the second school going as quickly as possible, and that is something that is a part of all of these options. I do also want to note that Cal Aero is going to stay year-round. The second school, as it was planned in the Cal Aero community, or the preserved community, excuse me, is going to be year-round. The reason I say that is I like to set expectations for what's going to happen with any decision we make. There are some huge issues, though, with putting more students at Cal Aero, and one of the things I am deeply concerned about, given, unfortunately, where we're at with school safety as a country, as a state, and as a community, is school safety. And I was very alarmed when I heard that if we potentially put 10 portables on the Cal Aero campus, we'd have almost 2,000 students on that campus. Now, I understand that putting portables on temporarily will solve a problem, but I am not in favor of keeping those portables there after that second school is built, because no child in this district should be going to something the size of a high school when they're in kindergarten, first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, or 7th or 8th grade. That's not a palatable choice, and it's not something we should be doing in this community. And so I do want to make sure that we're not just throwing 10 portables on a campus or whatever number of portables, and there's no plan for taking those off. Because oftentimes decisions are made, and there's not a game plan for what happens next. So one of the things that I would request if we are to vote on option C as a board is that we do amend option C to put a time frame for those portables. I just cannot fathom having almost 2,000 students on that campus and not having some sort of directive from this board. I might be here 3.5 more years, I might be here 7.5 more years, who knows? But I want to make sure whatever decision we make tonight, we're not putting 2,000 students on a campus that clearly was meant for, let me see, original school capacity at Cal Aero, 965. 965. So again, obviously option A and B for me are off the table, but I do want to make sure we're citing that there are cost issues. I also noticed the fiscal impact was unknown. I appreciate why it's unknown at this time, because who knows what option we were going to choose as a board. But I do believe we need to amend option C to put a time frame that upon completion of School 2 and upon the opening of School 2, we do remove those portables from that campus. Thank you.
Mr. Cruz?
Yeah, I'll just make it real quick. You know, yesterday, Cal Aero had their 10th anniversary, and you saw strong families, unity within the community. You know, I live in the community, and the best option is C, because when you look at it, honestly, that the children, it's best that the children are together rather than separated with their friends. So option C is the most ideal one.
Mrs. Blair?
I just have a question for Dr. Enfield. In option C, which school sites will be the overflow school sites? Liberty, Woodcrest?
Yeah, we when we do overflow, we look for the closest school that has the capacity for that grade level.
Okay, thank you.
But it would probably be, that school would probably be one of the options.
Thank you.
Okay, Mrs. Gagne.
Yes, I'd like to make a motion to amend option C. Bullet point, I guess first bullet point, they're not numerically numbered. Add more portable classrooms to be removed at the opening of Preserve School number 2.
Do we have a second on that motion? Seeing none, we would vote.
That motion dies.
That motion dies. So we are back to the original motion as C. Mr. Schaefer? Okay. Any other comments? Seeing none, all those in favor for option C? Mrs. Gagne.
So I'm a little concerned why we might want to leave those portables on that campus past the opening of the second school. And I just do want to, again, express those concerns. I don't want to hold up this process. We've already held up the second school for a while in the view of many people sitting in this room. But I will say that I will continue to ask questions, and if I have to come back to this board about these portables, I will. Thank you.
Okay, Dr. Enfield.
The plan that we have, that we've talked with staff, is to not to keep all 20 of the portables. If we were to put 10 more on there, there'd be a total of 20. The plan is not to keep all 20 on there, that we would be removing 10 at some point.
Thank you.
Okay, seeing no other comments, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Passes 5-0. Thank you.
Preferential. 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 President Nall.
Preferential?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.
Item 2B1, 2019-2020 student member on the Board of Education.
Recommend the Board of Education to approve Audrey Ng from Ayala High School as a 2019-2020 student member of the Board of Education and administer the oath of office. Are there any speakers?
None.
Seeing none.
She's waited long enough.
Well, board members, before we vote, let me share Audrey's background and why she is recommended to represent the student population. Audrey Ng is 16 years old and will be a senior at Ayala High School for the 2019 and 2020 school year. She currently serves as a USB president after previously serving as finance director and social activities commissioner. Audrey is a member of the Yoga Club, EdX Global Club, Comforting Kids Club, and Chemistry Tutor. She has been a Girl Scout for 11 years and working on her Gold Award. Audrey also volunteers at the Pomona Valley Hospital. With all these qualifications, I'm sure that Audrey's contributions will be an important asset and a sensitive voice for the student population. With that, may I have a motion?
So moved.
It's been moved by Ms. Blair.
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Schaefer. Any comments, questions? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Preferential vote?
Aye.
Passes 5-0. Audrey, please come forward so the oath of office will be administered. Raise your hand. Audrey Ng, do solemnly swear
I, Audrey Ng, do solemnly swear
that I will support
that I will support
and defend the Constitution of the United States
and defend the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California
and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
that I will bear the true faith
that I will bear true faith
and an allegiance to the Constitution of the State of California,
and allegiance to the Constitution of the State of California,
that I'll take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
and that I will and faithfully
and that I will well and faithfully
discharge the duty
discharge the duties
upon which I am about to enter.
upon which I am about to enter.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Item 2C1, Resolution 2018-2019-39, Classified School Employee Week, Semana de Empleado Clasificado de Escuela.
Recommend the Board of Education to adopt Resolution 2018-2019-39, Classified School Employee Week, Semana de Empleado Clasificados de Escuela. Are there any speakers?
None.
May I have a motion?
So moved.
Moved by Mrs. Gagne, seconded by Mrs. Blair. Comments? Mrs. Blair.
The background of this resolution. Classified School Employee Week began as a resolution at the California School Employees Association's annual conference in 1984. 2 years later, it was adopted as California Senate Bill 1552 and decreed to be an official recognition of classified school employees. When the legislature passed the law, making the third full week of every May Classified School Employee Week, Semana de Empleado Clasificado de Escuela, it brought to light classified workers' many contributions to education in California. The signing of the law was also a testament to the importance of the work being performed by classified employees who help to shape the future of California's children. The week of May 19th through the 25th is recognized throughout the state as Classified School Employee Week, Semana de Empleado Clasificado de Escuela. Resolution 2019-39 supports this statewide effort to recognize the contributions of more than 1,000 classified employees in Chino Valley Unified School District. Our resolution reads as follows. Whereas the services provided by classified school employees are an essential and integral part of an effective and efficient public school system. Whereas the services provided by classified school employees meet the needs of children and teachers by maintaining a safe, clean, healthy, and positive environment for all students and employees. Whereas the services provided by classified school employees strive to fulfill the district's motto of student achievement, safe schools, and positive school climate, humility, civility, and service. Whereas all classified employees, regardless of their specific duties and responsibilities, are partners in providing the community with educational opportunities for all students. Now therefore be it resolved, the Chino Valley Unified School District hereby acknowledges and honors the contributions of all classified employees regarding their contributions towards achieving excellence in education in California and in the district, and designates the week of May 19th through the 25th as Classified School Employee Week, Semana de Empleado Clasificado de Escuela in Chino Valley Unified School District. Be it further resolved, the Board of Education calls on the community to join with it in expressing sincere appreciation to our classified school employees for a job well done. And I want to add that this Saturday, our Classified School Employees Association will be holding their first annual car show at the adult school campus on Riverside Drive. So if we want to kick off their week, we need to be there on Saturday.
I have a comment. It's funny. We have many people works in our school district, and when, as a perspective from parents, all you see is a teacher and your kids and a principal. That's sometimes all you see. But in reality, I could say a principal could take a vacation for a day or a week, but school will run fine because our secretaries in the office, our staffs on the ground. It's the truth. I don't want to hurt the feelings of our principals, great principals. Love you guys, but this was the truth. And if we would have an absence of secretaries, school would completely stall. And I have seen that. So we think, yeah, there are different positions, but it's like your own body. If you don't, we need a head, we need brains, but if you don't have one hand, that's going to really hurt us. So I'd like to thank, as I had said, I had so much respect for these warehouse crews. I have so much respect for everybody. And also teachers too, because of our great teachers. When we say we're from Chino Valley Unified, we get respect because we have great teachers and also great principals. And our cabinet members, our superintendent, I said bless them because we're working as a family, as a one body, and this is where we're heading to be the top in the region and in the state. Thank you. Mr. Cruz.
Yeah, and just to note that they open the school and they close the school, and within that inside, they're constantly nurturing and mentoring our children. It's all integral. Everybody's doing the same thing.
Yes, indeed. Thank you. Seeing no other comments, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Professional vote?
Aye.
Passes 5-0. We're now at consent items. Pat, are there any speakers?
No speakers.
No speakers. Board members, do you have any polls? Mr. Cruz?
No polls.
No polls. Mrs. Blair?
No polls.
Mrs. Gagne?
No polls.
Mr. Schaefer?
No polls.
And I have no polls. Wow.
Wait, one.
Oh, you have one poll?
3C2.
C2, you got to vote on that one.
Okay. So we have a one poll,
3C2.
3C2.
She read in the change.
Oh, the change.
Mhm.
The change, but we still need to pull it and vote.
And vote.
Okay, 3C2.
18/19-24.
So it's 3C2-18/19-24 is pulled. For the remainder of this consent items.
You're going to vote on the remainder of the consent items?
Yes. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Moved by Mrs. Blair, seconded by Mrs. Gagne. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Preferential vote?
Aye.
Passes 5-0. Now, item 3C2, dash 18/19-24, I need a motion.
So moved.
Moved by Mrs. Blair.
Second.
Seconded by Mrs. Gagne. All in favor, say, no, we're gonna vote, no? Are we voting?
Yeah.
Okay. So we would have to vote as the same? Okay. All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed?
Oh, no. Sorry. Opposed.
Yeah, one nay. So, and preferential vote?
Aye.
Okay, passes 4-1. Oh, okay. Oh, it was a confidential, okay. So this is, okay, thank you. Okay, so passes 4-1. Now we're at information items. Yeah, see none? Okay. Then communications. Mr. Schaefer.
Always sneaks up on me. First, I'd like to start off by congratulating Alexi again on a fantastic year, and best of luck as you move forward to Stanford. And please don't be a stranger. Come back, let us know how you're doing, and keep us in line. Just me? Yeah, actually, it's just me. You're right. And congratulations to Audrey, our new member. Unfortunately, you will get to sit by me for a couple of months, so prepare yourself. But congratulations. I know that Alexi set the bar very high, but I know that you will do a fantastic job in representing and advocating for your fellow students in the district. I look forward to working with you. In support of our resolution we just passed, I'd like to thank all of our CSEA members from Chapter 102 Chino that do a fantastic job day in and day out for all of our students. So, Danny, thank you on behalf of for all of your members. Thank you very much. I'd like to personally thank each and every military-bound senior that we recognize this evening for their selflessness and willingness to protect our country. We are all able to gather here tonight because of their dedicated service and the dedicated service of our current serving members and those of the veterans. So I think we all owe them a great deal of gratitude. And congratulations to all of the ACT Scholarship Award recipients tonight, as well as the ACT Member Award recipients. And a big congratulations to the warehouse crew, the Unsung Hero Awards from CSEA. Was able to attend a few things since last meeting. On April 6th, I attended the band showcase at Don Lugo, which is the feeder system band showcase from the elementary schools and junior highs. It was, again, fantastic event. It's just great to see the progression from the beginner elementary to the advanced elementary, junior high, and then high school. The feeder system has a lot to be proud of. They did a great job. I was honored to attend International Day over at the adult school. It was fantastic to see all the adult students out there representing their cultures with dress and song and dance and food. I'd like to thank Mr. Hampton and all of his staff over there for the renewed energy on that campus. It's really nice to see. I attended the Cal Aero 10-year celebration. It was a great event, and the entertainment and, again, their band was fantastic. Had a very nice turnout. Committee reports from Bald View RLP. We're currently conducting the superintendent's annual evaluation there as well. June 12th will be our next regularly scheduled meeting, then June 19th will be a special meeting for budget adoption. In the Chino Hills Parks and Recreation Commission, at our April meeting, we said goodbye to our student representative that had been with us for a year, Ian Mowat, as Ian moves on to, I believe, Brown University. And then at last night's meeting, we welcomed Sarah Vithlani, who will be our new student representative, and she's going to be an incoming senior from Chino Hills High School. And then, as Councilman Bennett said, the Chino Hills Summer Concert in the Park Series does start on June 19th, runs through August 2nd, be for 8 weeks, Wednesday evenings from 7 to 8:30 at Veterans Park. For a schedule of the performances, you can go to www.chinohills.org/concerts. And that's it.
Okay, Mrs. Gagne.
No comment.
Mr. Cruz.
Yes, I'll make mine quick. Dr. Enfield, address the issue with Mr. Darwin, with his son. You know that situation. No,
Yes.
I don't mean now.
Yes.
Later. And also with Ayala, figure out how to streamline the recruitment for ASL. And also, that event that Chino Hills had, the event about suicide prevention, that was such a great program. Maybe it's a good idea to recruit that guy and bring him to other school sites. So
Yeah, we're continuing that.
Oh, that's very good. And Alexi, this has been almost 7 years, and your caliber is the best I've seen. So, congratulations, and congratulations to you too. Thank you.
Mrs. Blair.
I want to begin by clarifying an item. We had 3 speakers mention the lawsuit, the prayer lawsuit, and I was a board member when it all came to fruition. And because oftentimes I was not in agreement with pursuing the appeals, there were a lot of negative social media posts, a lot of derogatory comments stated at the board meetings towards me. And I not once took offense to that because I know my beliefs and I have them. I just never believed that the boardroom was the place for my religious views. That wasn't why I was elected. I do want to share that during the time we were conducting research, we were advised that we were only the 2nd school district in our county, including neighboring school districts, that had invocation at the beginning of board meetings. That kind of supported my belief that this wasn't the appropriate forum for it. So it wasn't that I'm opposed to prayer as a whole. I just wanted to maintain my oath in representing every student, which means every student of every faith. And that is why I oppose the lawsuit. But there is one thing that was also reiterated to us last year as we were moving forward with deciding whether to pursue the next appeal process to the Supreme Court. And one thing that was interesting, and if you read on the GoFundMe page, it states that the money would be contributed to or donated to the school district for this battle only if we pursued the lawsuit to the Supreme Court. That was kind of in smaller print on that page. And so the school district is not going to receive that money. What they will do with it is none of our concern. I just know that it isn't coming. So you can go back and look at that page, and you'll see that there is that caveat that mentions only if we pursued it to the Supreme Court. With that, I wish Mr. Don Jones was here, because I attended the orchestra festival, which Miss Yvette Farley facilitated and was the MC for the evening, and it was a wonderful event that was held here at Woodcrest Junior High School. And great performance from all of our students, the beginning, the intermediate, and the advanced. They sounded as though they were the real deal, and so it's quite impressive that even our beginners knew how to use their instruments and sounded like a true symphony. It was an amazing event, so I was glad to have been able to attend. With that, I want to remind individuals that applications are being accepted for our CVUSD's Committee for the Arts. The purpose of the committee is to actively research and apply for grants from available resources and make funding recommendations to the Board of Education. The intent of the committee is to expand the arts for all students. All appointments to the committee will be made by the Board of Education from applications submitted by interested, qualified community members. Applications can be obtained on the CVUSD website and are due on May 31st. And with that, thank you. And Alexi, I am going to miss you, and I can't wait to hear about your first year at Stanford, because you're going to come back and share with us. Okay. And with that, have a good night.
Dr. Enfield.
Again, I want to thank you, Lexi, for everything that you've done and the work that you've done on this board. It's been phenomenal. So again, thank you, and I wish you all the best at Stanford. And Audrey, we look forward to having you next year on the board. Thank you. Next week is Classified Employee Week, and I want to thank all the classified employees for the work that they do to protect, support, and take care of our students. And I know I won't be able to acknowledge all the groups, but some of them I want to go through here. Bus drivers. I think about a bus driver, and as a teacher, you're told never to turn your back on students, but every day they have their back turned to over 60-plus students on a bus, and they get them to school, and they get them home safely every day. Our custodian staff, our maintenance department, they keep our schools in tip-top shape all the time. Our security officers, who are always at our school sites ensuring the safety of our students. Our paraprofessionals who work in the classroom, they help support our students and help support their education. The school office staff, who are on the front lines with our students, with our staff, with parents in the community. Our warehouse workers who came here tonight, and our drivers, they do a dozen different jobs, and they're not joking. You will find them all over the district doing all kinds of things. The district office staff that supports our school sites, I want to thank them. And then technology department. With everything that we do with technology, it's either through the internet and you need devices to keep it running, and they keep that up and running for us. And they're actually here tonight videotaping the boardroom, our board meeting here tonight. And again, as I always ask them, please no close-ups. And with that, I want to thank all of the classified for everything that they do for us. Thank you.
Thank you. I think we could drive in the same car with Mr. Schaefer. We went through almost all the events. It was great. Yeah, he would just show up, whether he's 5 minutes late or a few minutes early. He's always there. It's great to see. I'd like to thank also Alexi, because just the other day, one of teacher held my hand, and she was almost in tears. This is a problem with the adults, our adults. She's telling me, Mr. Na, this person is portraying me. This person is lying, accusing, and etc. And she was really hurt by that. And I said to her, remember the kindness. We have students. They're working on spreading kindness. Don't take the bait. But Mr. Na, she was kind of not, didn't say bullying me, but then lying all these things at me. I said, spread kindness instead. Don't be like them. Because in the end, Almighty will know, and your true friends knows, and your family will know. And that's enough. I was able to say that because Alex and her friends were doing with her fellow friends. And I'm doing it the same thing tonight. I would not respond to the lies. I am also proud of a father there. Alex had mom coming here, but we have father here for his daughter. My kids are attending college now, but this is time to enjoy. All you guys have special kids, and they're truly a gift. So enjoy them. And I'd like to have you stand up, and we want to give you applause for raising a great daughter as well. Dad, Aju's dad, thank you. Yeah, you be the angel, you be the guardian, you be that big tree giving the shade to your daughter. Thank you. See, Alex, you have served here for representing the students, but you affected adults, especially me. So thank you for that, making me a better person. I'd like to also end thanking CSA members, especially our security personnel. They work day in, day out. Even at our adult school, there were only 2 custodians, but they really worked very hard, but with happy heart. So I'd just like to congratulate our CSC members tonight, and I can pledge that I'll be there for all of you because you're my big family. Thank you. I end the meeting at 9:34.